Hello and welcome to the Gather Round preview. We had a very interesting round four, and because it's a short break, we're going to be talking about a bit of round four, but mainly Gather Round preview. So, Gather Round starts on Thursday with Adelaide and Carlton going at it. Both teams had a shocking loss in round four. Carlton, most notably, having a big lead against North Melbourne and getting run over the top in the fourth quarter. It was a game that was very disappointing to see. If you're a Carlton fan, North Melbourne continue their exhilarating run to start the year. Carlton had 5 goals to start the third quarter, and it kind of looked like, they kind of got over those woes and they were going to run away with it. But once again, the mentality, whatever it was, they just couldn't get the job done. Adelaide, they lost to Fremantle on their home deck in a game that was pretty sloppy for the most part. They really struggled to get on the scoreboard early, and it didn't really look good. They had a really nice third quarter and wrestled the contest back in their favour. And Fremantle just were the better team. And for this game, I think it's logical. We got to go with the Crows on their home deck, and we're going to go the Crows by 34 points. Collingwood Fremantle. So, this one's a tough one. I think Collingwood are under a bit of an injury cloud at the moment. Nick Dacos has a corky in his calf. They tried to get it going and they just couldn't. So it's unsure whether the short break is going to affect them. Um, I just think they're on demand. Fremantle are actually really good this year. Like their midfield is really nice. Murphy Reed has been phenomenal. Um, I think their ruck setup is really solid too. I just don't see how Collingwood are going to score against this rock solid Fremantle defense. I think it will be a low scoring affair, but I think the Dockers win this by like 3 goals. So I'm gonna say 20 points. I think this should be a convincing win for Fremantle. So North Melbourne and Brisbane. This is a game I'm really interested to see. North Melbourne have actually played pretty well against Brisbane at Gather Round, and they've started the year quite decently. Everyone was a bit worried about not having Tristan Cherry, having that 3 week suspension. They come up against a Brisbane lineup that's got some really solid rucks. Sam Draper, Darcy Fort. They've got a lot of tools, the Lions, and their midfield's really deep. So it's going to be a really good challenge for the Kangaroos to kind of assess where they're at against the league's best. I expect the Lions to win this game because of their class and experience, but I could see North Melbourne putting up a good fight. I think the Lions by 23 points. Um, Essendon, Melbourne. Um, Essendon once again losing to the Western Bulldog. Um, in a game that they honestly, I saw more effort in this game than I had weeks prior. Yeah, they got flogged, but it was looking really bad early. They conceded like the first 6 goals, and it was all she wrote. But they fought back and had a really good second half, and actually made the score respectable. Edwards was really good in Caddy's absence, setting up a few goals and kicking a few of his own. Merritt, what can we say about Zach Merritt? He's the best player in Essendon for a reason. Um, I do think that they'll have a lot of energy, a lot of belief, and I feel like they're going to come into this game a lot more confident. But the D's, oh geez, the D's, they're shocking everyone, aren't they? Stephen King's side with a big win over the Gold Coast Suns. They just moved the footy so well. Josiah Pickett continuing to be one of their best players this year. They just look so good. They move the ball quick. They're good around the contest. Max Gawn is in career best form. It's hard to tip against the D's at the moment. I'm going to go the D's by 15. Now at Norwood, we got Sydney and Gold Coast, and this one's a top of the end sort of like clash. Both teams tipped to be in the premiership contention window. The Suns, obviously coming off that loss to Melbourne, are going to be a bit more pumped up to win this game. But the Swans, they're all class, like a 130-point win against West Coast. Yeah, I know it's West Coast, but they looked really good. I think Gold Coast might just win this. We're gonna go Gold Coast. There's a potential Petrarca inclusion looming as well. So if the Suns are able to get Petrarca back, then that would be huge. We've got Hawthorn and the Western Bulldogs. So the Hawks coming off a 6-day break, beating the Cats by a point at the G and Easter Monday. Bulldogs, they're looking solid, but they've had a few injuries. Ed Richards and Tim English are hurt at the moment, so it's going to be interesting to see what their ruck setup looks like. I still have faith in the Bulldogs. I think their system has looked really good this year, and I think that their scoring power is what wins them this game. Sam Darcy, Aaron Norton, they just find the scoreboard, and I think the Dogs get it done. They play Adelaide Oval really well. But that being said, the Hawks are still solid, but I'm going to give it to the Dogs by 10 points. We've got my team, Geelong, up against the Eagles. We've looked pretty flat this year, to be honest. There hasn't really been that edge in our game where we're able to put teams away. I think our performance was really bad against Hawthorn, albeit we were in the contest pretty much the entire game. I felt like our skill issues were glaring. I don't know what this game looks like, really. West Coast could make a contest of it. We could also win by 60 points. Like, I'm going Geelong by 22 points. I really can't assess where we're at. And then we've got GWS Richmond. Tigers looking to get off the board with their first win. The Giants obviously struggling with injuries this year. I think the Giants, being the more experienced outfit, get the job done. Richmond having no Nankervis hurts. They've got no recognised second ruckman. Well, they do, but he's playing VFL, and Uze refuses to play him. So it's going to be interesting to see what Richmond do. I'm backing the Giants. So the Giants by 17 points. And the last game of Gather Round, Port Adelaide versus St Kilda. So Port Adelaide on their home deck, losing to West Coast a few weeks back. They kind of bounced back a bit. This weekend just gone, comfortable win over Richmond. I just don't see enough in them to make me confident that they're able to withstand these competitive teams. I just think once a team kind of puts it on them, they kind of fold. And having Ratugolea out for 6 to 8 weeks, their defense is already short enough as it is. I feel like it's a game that is so winnable for the Saints. Like, I expect St Kilda to win, but I just don't know how they're going to get it done. Like, if the best version of St Kilda shows up, I think the Saints win this. I'm going to go to the Saints by 12, but this is a genuine 50-50 game. So that was my tips for Gather Round. Just to recap my tips from last week, I finished 3 out of 8. So we only got 3 right, which was quite shocking, to be honest. I was quite filthy, some of the results, and yeah, it's our worst week for the tips. Hopefully we do better this week. I appreciate all the love and support on the videos. I'll make sure to put out a better vid next week. With the short break and the turnaround and it being Easter, I haven't been able to do as well as what I've wanted, so I Well, I apologize for that, and I'll make sure we have a better video for next week. So take care. Hope you guys enjoyed your Easter. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.